Hey guys, this is IrieStarcraft and I'm back to cast another game for you. This will be a 2 versus 2 on the ruins of Tarsonis, and it will be between ONEKyhol, the red Terran, and ONEGatored, the blue Protoss. Both of these guys are top 10 North American Grandmaster 1v1 players. So we're talking about some serious firepower on the bottom, but we'll see how well they work together, because they will be going against none other than haCkProTech, the teal Zerg, and Power, the purple Terran. So I'm looking forward to an extremely intense match this game, and we'll see what kind of role each player ends up falling into, and what kind of role this map will play with regards to that, because this map, Ruins of Tarsonis, it looks like Team 1 is going to be creating a wall-in at the front, possibly. And like, this map may be dictating a different strategy for ProTech and Power than what they're normally used to, which is usually a 10 pool. Nope, it looks like there will be a 10 pool for ProTech, but he did get Overlord before pool. So very interesting there. I think a little indecisive by ProTech of exactly what he wanted to do, and maybe trying to fake out a Ling rush by, you can see the probe scout up here from ONEGatored, and he threw down that pool even though he already had his Overlord, and he is continuing to make drones here, using up all of his larvae on drones. So I did see somebody do that the other, not that long ago. Who was that? I think it was Archon, and it actually almost worked, but I think they ended up losing that game in one of the 4v4 tournaments, where he threw down the spawning pool at 10 and then just continued to pump drones with it and used it to get his queen out quicker, and just worked on that eco anyway. But ONEGatored, Grandmaster player, is not going to be fooled. He knows that ProTech is simply droning up here. And meanwhile, Power has gone for that early gas, it looks like, and I expect to see some Hellions earlier in this game. Possibly, no, we are going to see a second barracks here, and a reactor. So are we going to see mass Marines? I'm not so sure, but this probe will be forced to fall back. We'll see if he tries to be a sneaky probe or not. And now Kyhol and Gatored have completed this wall-in, and they've got this bunker way up here in the front. Very interesting. He's leaving space here for an add-on to this barracks. But I just find it interesting that this bunker would be placed way up here in the front. Maybe they're just not really worried that much about a Baneling rush, because they got a really good scout. They probably actually may have even seen this Roach Warren from ProTech. So putting the bunker in the front will give it the best range, and it will not allow the roaches to shoot away at any of these buildings while the bunker in the back cannot reach. And same goes for the Marines from Power. So nothing too crazy right now. Just the fact that there's no Hellions is interesting, but not really as effective in this matchup, obviously. Terran Protoss. Using going straight Hellions every time, not always the best idea. If you got a lot of Zerglings at an early press, it can still work. But where are these Marines going? I think they want to go Overlord hunting, as there is one over here. And this Marine is going to go Overlord hunting, and the other three will not. And the ping over here, I assume we are going to go try and break down the backdoor rocks, but now this attack moving out has been scouted. As you saw the probe going down right there. So roaches and Marines, they think that they're moving out. I wonder if, and we are throwing down a second bunker in the front by Kyhol, so they are assuming that attack is coming from the front, but at the same time building a bunker and 2 supply depots over here. And Power and ProTech will begin working on this rebel, and they will be able to do that uncontested. A stalker maybe could reach, but not now that there are these 2 bunkers going down in the back. And the way this map is, it's a pretty long rush distance. You can see the stream of roaches coming down here one at a time. I just don't know if they're going to be able to complete this attack. Excuse me there. I just don't think they'll be able to complete this attack. They're probably going to have to fall back. If they try and bum rush up here, it will be a serious pain. As you can see, Power giving the B call right there, as if as soon as they get on this ramp, boom, trapped, bunkers unloading. So a wise decision to fall back there. And so we should be moving on to the mid game now. There is a starport on the way, and that is for ONEKyhol. And where is it? Is it wait a minute. Is that, no, that is Power's. Excuse me there. Like I said last game, man, I am totally out of it right now. Totally out of it. But I haven't cast a game or posted a game on my channel for a while. I've been casting tons of games in the tournaments, but I haven't posted any in so long, and I'm going to be busy the next couple days, so I got to get to some right now, even if I'm not at the top of my game. So I'm trying, you guys. And a couple of medevacs on the way for Power, so we are just going to be pumping bio here. And no engineering bay yet. I expect to see that come up very soon. Meanwhile, on the bottom, we have siege tanks coming out for ONEKyhol. So really, like, serious turtling going on for the bottom team. They're going to need to expand, or nobody expanding. Very interesting that nobody has opted to even start building a command center in their base. As soon as I say that, there it is. So it looks like we're going to play it defensively for a bit here, and maybe scout with one roach. So cool, you guys. Awesome. And neither team wanting to overcommit right now. So we're going to continue building roaches. We have marauders for Power on the way, combat shield, roach speed, siege tanks, and we have a banshee. There's a banshee sighting. Where is that banshee being built? I feel like I'm missing something. I swear to God, ONEKyhol has a starport somewhere. There it is. There's the starport. It is way in the back, and it is being rallied over Nyal, which will get seen by ProTech. So that is not going to be super effective, probably. Still no evolution chamber though up here, so maybe. And is there still no engineering bay? There may not even be an engineering bay yet. So this actually could get very ugly. But there is no cloaking for that banshee, so that banshee is just going to be there to harass a little bit, and it is going to get seen right now by ProTech's Overlord. And our Marines are going to try and stim to intercept this banshee. They better get him. Oh, the banshee's coming back, and oh, he just wants to get shot down so badly, but no. Fortunately, the stim there on Power's Marines, but that's quickly going to get healed with 4 medevacs in the air. And now ProTech with an Overseer, just in case there is some sneaky going on. Another Banshee is out for, that's ONEKyhol, right? ONEKyhol. For some reason I keep thinking it's ONEKyhol, but it's ONEKyhol. And bottom team is going to make something happen. We got siege tanks, marines, a bunch of stalkers, zealots, and sentries. And oh, here comes a huge engagement. Force fields are being laid down all over the place, totally splitting up the top team's army. And ProTech, though, doing a nice job of burrowing his roaches here. Apparently there is no scan or detection for the bottom team. More force fields going off. There is the scan. Going to be able to kill all of the roaches. Power is stimming up to try and take out some of this army, but siege tanks on the low ground are doing so much damage. Force fields just obliterating Power and ProTech's army, and that seemed pretty one-sided in that battle. Great force fields and siege tank placement, but it looks like bottom team, not wanting to overcommit here, is going to chill back here. And I expected the siege tanks to begin crawling forward because of the strength of this army. And the threat of those force fields is still there. And we're thinking about it, and really wants to get a split on those roaches. And that's Gatored I'm talking about. And are we going to bum rush? We are going to bum rush here, and more force fields going off. Siege tanks blowing away units in the back. So much energy being used right there. And Power trying to come around the side and pick off some of these Marines, and it looks like we will be able to maybe snipe some of these tanks. One tank goes down, The force fields continue to be laid down all over the place. This is getting pretty intense pretty quickly. I keep thinking that the bottom team has a huge advantage in this engagement. Look at the placement of Gatored with his ball of units down here. He's doing everything he can to stay protecting these siege tanks, but it looks like ProTech is about to unburrow on top of some of these siege tanks. Will he be able to take some of them out? Yes, he is going to be able to take out one siege tank, not the second one. It is still alive with 20 hit points, and now the hatchery goes down. Drones forced to retreat. Whew, getting pretty intense. Whoa, hey now, there are a bunch of siege tanks here, but power is going to go right into this, and there are almost no energy left on these sentries, so oh, never mind, scratch that, just enough to get a few more force fields. One siege tank up here, one down here. Man, very, very strong execution in this battle from both teams, I must say. I am totally shocked that Power and ProTech are actually alive right now after the way that first battle went. But hey, man, they made it work. And we are going to bum rush the last couple of tanks here. All these medevacs in there made a huge difference for Power, clearly, as none of them have any energy left. And ONEKyhol and ONEGatored are going to be turtling back up, but they both have their expansions, so they are now ahead in economy. And they definitely know about this attack coming around the side, so it looks like Power is... He may just be trying to take out these rocks and then retreat again. As meanwhile, ProTech has... Oh, this supply depot was left down by Kyhol. ProTech is going to be able to burrow his roaches all the way into the mineral line, and Power, meanwhile, is doing diversionary tactics over here, threatening to break down this rubble, and ProTech just went right through a lowered supply depot and is now in the mineral line with 5 roaches to harass these SCVs. Going to be getting a lot of free SCV kills here before Kyhol can get over here to try and clean this up. There's not enough energy on this command center, but there is on the other command center apparently, because the scan is going down, but I think these roaches may outlast this scan. No, a second scan forced here by ProTech, and all the while Power is just shelling away at this rebel over here on the right. And the tables have turned all of a sudden. Somehow, I was going to say here, whoa, roaches running right up into these 3 bunkers and siege tank, and 3 siege tanks, I should say. As, wow, all of a sudden the tides seem to have turned slightly, as map control now belongs to the top team. However, the economy still heavily favoring Kyhol and Gatored. Excuse me there, you guys. And ProTech now wanting to threaten to sneak through here again, but wisely the supply depot is left up this time, and there's a Banshee to shoot away at stuff. Will the Marines be able to get a free Banshee kill? A quick stim of the front of just a little piece of the Marines. Nicely done there by Power. Just take a little chunk of them to stim up. Don't need to stim them all, just to kill one Banshee. And we could be seeing some gas giving if that is... that is what Power is talking about, as all of a sudden ProTech does have quite a bit of gas. And so he has started his pathogen glands research, and I want to check this timing. I've done this before, where I want to see exactly when to build the infestors. Pathogen glands is at 35 and still ticking. So, how long does the infestor take to build? Ooh, a greater spire on the way. Very interesting. There goes infestors, our 50 time, and so anyway, that should be pretty straightforward, right? We should just be able to do math. And oh, are we gonna get trapped? Here we are. ONEKyhol is trapping Power's army. Force fields going off all over the place. Siege tanks are just ripping through his army. Oh my lord. Ooh, there goes all of Power's army. Meanwhile, though, ProTech will be able to push right up the gut because the bunkers and defenses up front have been moved. And it looks like ProTech is going to take his roaches and just go right into the main here and force the armies from Team 1 to fall all the way back here. Going to be able to pick off a siege tank and work on some SCVs, it looks like. And, ooh, a nice force field there from Gatored, but ProTech, again, is forcing more more scans to go off, and these roaches are just being extremely frustrating, and they have brought this entire army back down here, and there's another scan. That should be enough to finish off all of the roaches. So the roaches not actually doing very much damage. All that did is just buy time. So I really think the top team is in a lot of trouble now. They do have these infestors now. ProTech does have these infestors, which will be extremely powerful in the next engagement. And we do have the Greater Spire finished, so there could be Broodlords and quite a few of them morphing in right now. He can afford to make almost 8 of these at once, and he needs to right this second, which is exactly what he's doing because they are pushing out. And whoa, gotta be careful here. We are gonna get a nice fungal growth right there to finish off a big chunk of that army. There are 2 Colossi trying to lead the way and pluck some of these infestors, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. But the infestors are getting quite ballsy. And a couple of them are going to go down, but the Broodlords should have finished by now. Here come the Broodlords. The hatchery from ProTech is going to go down, but here come the trump card. There are 7 Broodlords in the air, and the bottom team will be forced to fall back, it looks like. Or are they going to try and straight up engage this? They just don't have enough. ONEKyhol is going to stim his Marines up and try and take out as many Broodlords as he possibly can. ProTech is forced to pull back with the Broodlords. And now Power supporting underneath with the Marines, but it looks like the Broodlords are going to all get sniped down by the Stalkers in the back, and that could be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. The Colossi are melting away at the Bio Army on the ground for Power, and that is going to be GG. Team 1 on the bottom. Terran Protoss taking out the lovable team of haCkProTech and Power, of whom I've cast so many times. I am shocked. I'm shocked. I'm impressed, Power. You sent me a game where you lost, and it was even a good game. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it very much. And by the way, Power did send me a couple of more games against this team. So I will be getting to those in the near future, but for now, I think that is going to do it for me. And so thank you for watching. Definitely a pleasure to cast a very exciting game there. Sorry for my slowness, and my new favorite word apparently last game is scatterbrainedness, which is just somehow ironic. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. This is IrieStarcraft, and peace out.